Here, it's enjoyed. Other than that, this area that we have come to, this is the kitchen of our village. This is where our families cook every single day. Everything we see from here on, still utilised, ladies and gents, still used today. This box here is going to be our first example of what I'd like to share with you. Māori ingenuity, Māori brilliance. This box is our first example. This is what we call a steam box in English. In our native language, repeat after me. Māori.
Māori.
Microwave. Right over here. Māori microwave. All it is, just a wooden box built on top of a steam vent made by the earth. Very simple method, but the results bang on effective. What I'm talking about, you have your pot. Put your food in your pot, bring it over, place it in the box, close the lid. Say after 3-4 hours later, take the lid off, pull the pot out, go straight over to that shelter and dine in. You do not need anything prepared because us Māori, we eat our food exactly as it was cooked, nice and natural. Your food won't get burnt in this box because it's steam cooked. Many more results from our simple wooden box. Māori ingenuity, Māori brilliance, simple method, effective results. Best thing about this, no money needed at all. This is the lesser example of our day. I would like to welcome you up to our cooking pool of our village. Welcome up. Okay, now this pool here, my friends, this is Parehuru in English, murderous, rippling waves. That's the name for our pool here. Around every 45 minutes, so say, this pool will pump water from below the earth. That water will flow through our channels into our bathrooms. This water provides us with our bathing water. That means we only cook vegetables here. We do not cook anything with fat, oil or fish, and I think we know the reason why. Don't want to bathe in any of that. I'm out smelling like any of it. That is why the most natural, the most purest flavours are brought right out of it. But I will leave you to be the judge of that one, eh? One more thing to note, since we know food is cooked inside, a bit of common sense, the water in our pool is also drinkable as well. Our people have been drinking this water for hundreds of years, yet here they are still to this day. However, there is one catch if you drink too much. The catch is the runs. The run to the toilet for number 2. You want some of our water? Little bits at a time. Otherwise the toilet is where you all are in 10 minutes. However, our corn we are having completely safe. Now, we'll very quickly pull out our bag, see how it's doing, then we'll dig straight on it. This corn here that we provide you with, not only to prove that the sulphur you smell you shouldn't taste in our food, but this is the tradition of us Māori. No matter who our visitors are, no matter from where, we always welcome them, we always feed them, and we have a bit of a good laugh as well. So, this here is all ours for the tea. This simple method, all you need, a wool or cotton bag, a muslin cloth with a rope attached. All you do, wash the bag so you know it's clean, throw your food in, tighten the rope, hook it onto a little nail, let it sit in the natural waters 5-15 minutes, pull them out, dig in. Simple method, effective results. Māori ingenuity, Māori brilliance. Just like our microwave, best thing about this, no money needed at all, ladies and gents. Welcome over to our corn hut. We'll serve our corn out for you. Just arrived, so what we will do, I will serve our corn out for us, and once we have all got enough piece, start making our way over to our apartments of our village directly over here, so we can let our loved one have their free passage over to the meeting place. Parked up on that side of our shelter, my friends.
فکر کنم ازش فرق کنه ولی مزه معمولی ولی چقدر خوشرنگه بچه ها. پر شیرین. جاتون خالی. مرسی.
I've got a few extras in here I want to leave my visitors. This area we have come to, and as we enter, just watch our footing of this area we have come to is the bathrooms of our village. Very quickly, one thing to note, that pool down there, that is two waters, Waikōrima as we call it. Now that pool was our original bathing pool. The water level came nearly up to where we are standing today. 1900s, we had a bit of an earthquake, water level disappeared. A big overflow came from our cooking pool as well. It was affected by the earthquake. So what we done, that white man-made channel running across our plain, we constructed that channel, sent the overflow of cooking water through to our modern bathrooms we have today. The 5 minerals of our waters, they are silica, white greyish, copper, the orange colour, iron, which is the brown colour, the yellow, which is of course the sulphur, and there is a pink colour we will soon see over there, and that's steam, cinnabar. These are the 5 minerals that help cook your corn, the 5 minerals that run in our waters today. Now, I'd like to welcome you to our modern bathrooms. Welcome. Name. They are called oil baths. The reason we call these the oil baths, when the water pops up at the cooking pool, the 5 minerals that follow that water to the top rock hard because of all the geothermal heat welding it together underneath. When the water flows through that man-made channel behind you, it'll cool of course, so will the minerals soften. They hit these baths, the minerals become a very oily texture in our water, very oily, thus the name the oil baths. Now, just be a bit aware, the water might be hot. Come along to the sides of our channels that are available, mainly this one. Dip your fingers in the water, might be a little hot. Give it a try and rub your fingers to in these baths at all. The reason why, this is how we've been bathing for hundreds of years. What we would do for our women, very lucky they get a towel wrapped around them. As they enter our baths, slowly release the towel, let it slip into the water. For us men, we have a saying around here, no towel needed whatsoever. One hand if you're lucky, 2 hands if you're not so lucky. Walk straight in, oh well, that's how you get it over here for us males. Very, very simple. Also, the routine for our baths, some of the families will wake up 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, they will come here. They will shut the baths down at 8:30 in the morning. That is so that we can let all the water flush into the river by pulling out our plugs. When the baths are empty, we wipe the sides and the bottom so we know it's clean. We don't like to be unsanitary. We plug the plugs back in, let the water fill back up. If the baths are too hot when the families arrive in the afternoon, when they reopen, we would use a very expensive mechanism we call the hose or the tap. That blue instrument by our green bin, hook them up, spray all our baths with cold water, eh? Simple method, effective results, Maury ingenuity, Maury brilliance. This is our oil baths, that is 2 waters. I'd like to welcome you to our lookout of our day. Welcome up. While we are here, take as much photos, as much videos as you possibly want. Even while I'm talking, it is perfectly fine. There are 3 geysers that reside on our rocky surface on our terrace. 3. 2 geysers sit on the top. One of them you can see erupting on the top at the moment, just. That is our second geyser. The first geyser sits on the left-hand side. Now, the first geyser, the name of it is Pohutu. Pohutu in English. sign or the indicator. When it erupts, it will only reach a short height, say 5 to 7 meters. However, if te tohu, the sign can hold that height without dropping once for 25 minutes, that should give us a sign or indication. Big splash, bohutu, is going to go off. These geysers work hand in hand. And the lucky last to mention, our third geyser, that little bit of steam just rising on the right hand side of our terrace in front of that green bridge, that steam there is our third geyser. Kereru. Kereru, the Māori name for our native bird, our native wood pigeon. The reason we call that geyser kereru, sometimes when it does erupt, it will show itself in the shape of a V or wings as we took it. Thus the name kereru after our native bird, our native wood pigeon. There is more to go on about this area, however we will talk about it further along the rest of our tour. The next part of our tour we are going to, those with glasses, please keep note, just like back at the cooking pool, your glasses might end up steaming down here, you might end up walking in the wrong direction, so just watch your footing. And this pool we are going to, literally the hottest, the most dangerous attraction of our day. Welcome down, we'll continue on. Yes?
Only just coming up from me? No, dear.
دقیقا بچه در حال جوشیدنه.
Grumpy old man. That's the name for our pool there, ladies and gents. Grumpy old man. Around the temperature I can give in Celsius, a bit more exact, between 190 to 260 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
Twice as hot as our cooking pot. An example of this heat, the men of our village, they would go in the forest to hunt. Some of them would come back with their bird or their animal, bring it to this pool, dunk it in once, maybe twice. When the animal is pulled out, the hair or the feathers on it fall off with ease, and then you can process the meat. That is how us men use this pool here. The woman, they would go along to the sides of our pool, dip their face into the steam, giving themselves a beautiful facial. That is how our women utilise this pool here. Mainly this one because of the heat. And when the women step out, believe it or not, the skin on the people here, so smooth, so radiant, so shiny. There is a lot of beauty when it comes to our pool. However, at the cost of our beauty, danger. When I talk about danger, this is what I mean. At one time, there was a very big bridge that went over our pool and it landed on the walkway by our bathrooms. That was so you could look directly into this pool from above. One day he decided to blow. And when he did, well, I think we all know the rest of that story. No more bridge after that. That is how dangerous he can get even to this day. The last thing to note, it is very hard to see because of all our steam, but just on the further end of our pool mainly, our pink colour cinnabar, our fifth mineral of our waters on the rocky sides of our pool. Cinnabar, the pink colour, and silica, the white greyish colour by the channel, were the two minerals that made up the pink and white terraces, the eighth wonder of our world, 30 metres high, 200 years ago. Now sits in Tio, grumpy old man, only a few centimetres of depth. This is the most hottest, the most dangerous.
نزدیک تو این ویلج که الان هستیم نزدیک ترین نقطه به ماگماهای زیر زمین، یعنی اگر که بخوایم حساب بکنیم زیر پای من 4 تا 5 متر زیر پای من ماگمای زنده است و این آب گرمترین نقطه جوشش رو داره، 260 درجه سانتیگراد رو داره و این آب مستقیما داره از روی ماگماها در میاد. واو.
Everything takes place. Our meeting house actually resides further along down that direction of our road, and over there is where our loved one is lying at the moment. In common Māori tradition, whenever we get groups of visitors, no matter who, no matter from where, we always bring them here to the meeting houses first of all to do introductions. The introductions are only done just to see whether the visitors come in good or bad intentions. Now, before I do carry on, that beautiful music is our cultural performance taking flight for today. We do have another one at 12:30, ladies and gents. So if you want to use more than welcome to come back up and listen to the second round. However, two things to note about this young man here. I wasn't born, number one, and I wasn't raised, number two, inside of this tribe or this village. I come from a different tribe, 2 hours east, in the middle of a very cold forest. That forest is known as Te Urewera. The people of that forest, the scariest lot of Māori you will ever find in all your lives. My people of Tūhoi, I am the nicest Māori you will ever meet coming out of that forest. Since I've shared that with you, I will very briefly give you a piece of knowledge given to me by my own elders. Back in my home, we have 2 names for this house here. 2. Number 1, Whare Nui. Whare Nui in English, big house. Now this house isn't that size, of course, as we will soon tell if you get the chance to go down to the main meeting house. Very, very big house. The reason for it, so we can cater for the numbers of a gathering or an event. Whenever anything is called here, not only do a few representatives arrive, usually all the descendants, ladies and gents, whether that be hundreds, whether that be thousands. That's a big house. The second name, Whare Tipu, ancestral house. We look at our house more like a person. We have the head on the top. The rafters that descend diagonally from the head are the arms. The rafters that stand direct on either sides, the legs. The coloured beams that you do see, that is the rib cage. The window is the eye. The door is the mouth. And the body of the house, the body of the ancestor Wahia. We look at our house more like a person. Whenever anything is said in our house, this house will literally grab a hold of. It will lock that in until that subject has resurfaced again. The house will remember about what was said in the past. It will let all the descendants know about it. So this house here, more like a safe for knowledge. We, the descendants of this house, we are the key to that knowledge. Now, the only reason I can share any of this insight with you, at the age of 2 and 3, my grandfather was one of 48 chiefs of my tribe back in Tūhoi, my scary people. He looked along our family line to see who would carry on the mantle of chieftainship. This is what the elders and the chiefs wielded. They call it a toko toko in English and orator stuff. The reason I wield it today, I was the one chosen in the family line. 2-3 years old, I was brought to these kinds of houses in my own tribe. This was the area I was to be raised upon by the elders and the representatives for the rest of my childhood. And that was the cost of the knowledge I gained of them. I wasn't really allowed a normal childhood like anyone else. I wasn't allowed to go out and play with my cousins or my friends. This was my new world and my only world for the rest of my childhood. 15 years old, the elders said to me, my training is done. I could go out, see what the rest of the world had to offer. Father passed. On the night of his funeral, it was officiated amongst my scary tribe of Tūhoi. I was to be one of the 48 chiefs in line. For the past 2 years, now at the age of 19, as one of those 48 chiefs, I can leave this knowledge with all of you, purely and freely, in the hopes it doesn't fade out. Other than that, ladies and gents, that is enough about this house. We'll go find us a bit of shelter over at the second lockout of our day. Welcome up. We'll continue the rest of our day. How many Māori tribes? 50 to 80. I would say around 90% of those tribes, which is practically, if you're looking at around 70 tribes at the head. It goes like this. The chief of this area we are standing in 400 to 500 years ago. His name was Wahia. One day the people wake up only to see a war party over there coming here, 600 to 800 fighting men. Wahio. He looked at those brave warriors and he said, bring it on. He gathered over 200 to 300 of his own fighting men on this hill here. Here they performed the haka, the dance of war, dance of sadness, even a dance of cheekiness at times. Many versions. The one they done here, definitely a dance of war. Now, very quickly, we do have two purposes for our haka here. The first purpose, implementing fear in the enemy. When you perform the haka, your feet are to be stomping not too hard, but just in time with the rest of the group, so that the dust may raise beneath you all at once. Your voice is to bellow out to the tops of the skies, so that the enemy can clearly hear what you're telling them. Your body or face to be really fierce. Really big. Really scary. Really ugly. So the enemy can see you, so they can fear you as well. This is how you implement fear the Māori way. Nice and strong, nice and big, nice and ugly, nice and fierce. Now, if you don't have any of that, if you look too pretty, too nice and not scary enough, the second purpose for your haka could sin. The second purpose for the haka, to hype the mentality of the brain to make it go crazy. So no matter how big, how small you are, whether it's 1 versus 100, you are not afraid to fight. You are not afraid. Children as well as adults, the true purposes from what I was taught, our haka here as a Māori people. Now, the rest of the story goes 200 to 300 men stomping on this hill at the same time, the dust raising beneath them all at once made it look more like 1,000. It actually concluded the 600 to 800 warriors on that side, none of them done their homework that day. What they didn't know, the surface below us absolutely covered in geothermal active water. They lost half their men trying to cross. Their survivors finished off by the warriors of Wahio. The other half of their war party, they turned around, they ran home in fear, and the result of that event, it still lives on to this day. Our name, Whakarewarewatanga o te ope taua o Wahio. In English, the upraised war party of Wahio that lifted the dust on this hill over 200 years ago. That is the story of the name of our village, how it comes to be. With that story, unfortunately, my friends, does come the end of our talk. I would like to thank you all for coming along from all parts of our world, and if by any chance some of you are locals, well then I thank you as well for coming along. I do thank you as well for allowing me to guide you through our home Te Whakarewarewa, the living Māori village, not only to marvel at its beauty, which you have all done very well, but as very quickly another message I would like to relate to, which you have completed, to learn its history, its culture, I thank each and every one of you for doing that with me. Quite an honour. Also, as the chief of my tribe, at the age of 19, on behalf of all my scary people of Tupai back at home, I would like to thank you all personally for allowing me to introduce my people, who I am, who we are. It means a lot to me as a Māori and as a chief as well. Now, first question of our day. Raise your hands if you have a purple or blue sticker. Purple? Blues? Blue? Okay. Those that want the purples, I will escort you over to the geothermal trails. Also, those with the big white shelter is the exit. The only part we cannot hang around, number one, our kitchen, 3-4 feet magma and lava health and safety. So if you do wish to exit the village, go straight ahead to the big white shelter. And the other place we can't really hang around, our meeting house, the main meeting house. It's very hard to miss the big red house. That is where our loved one is laying at the moment. And so we will provide the families their time. You can take a photo or two on the other end of the room on the side, and we'll just cover the air space. Well, before I do this, I'll close to the cultural reforms and the geothermal trails to discuss my visitors with the gift of farewell. The gift I leave you with. It is a song. The song is if you decide to stay long enough and a safe trip home for all of them. I do hope to see you all here again, eh? Never know. We might go on one more tour together, reminisce about this one, tell a few more stories, change it up a bit, who knows. But for now, thank yous once more for allowing me to guide you through our home, Te Whakarewarewa, the living Māori village, the 11 o'clock village guided tour of our day. The song of our ancestors back in my tribe, this is how it goes. A short verse of it anyways. Aroha, ya koutou I te ahi, I ahi, ahuru ki nei e mata aiara, ya toi
Thank you.
Those that need to go to the cultural performance and the
That's where our family comes from, Tuku comes from. The depth of the pool, so in the middle is where all the rocks are, about this deep, so about this deep.
تا اینجای برنامه بچه‌ها وارد یکی از قدیمی ترین ویلیج های مائوری شدیم که ژئوترمال هستش. با هم دیگه قسمت مختلف بودیم از تاریخچه این روستا و تاریخچه سنت هایی که در مائوری هستش صحبت کردیم. تو قسمت بعدی قرار هستش که برنامه هاکا باشیم و یک برنامه هاکا رو از ابتدا تا انتها براتون گزارش میکنم. امیدوارم خوشتون بیاد.
Village of Te Whakarewarewa, te tūnga o te whetaua awa here. My name is Vida and I will be your host for this afternoon's show. Can you all say for me, kia ora?
Kia ora!
Kia ora!
Kia ora!
Kia ora simply means hello, goodbye, thank you, and in its true form it means good health to you. Of the hands. Now we believe that where there is movement, there is life, thus bringing life to all the actions and the words that we see. Following the way of the art, I will present for you this item here, which we call the poi. Can you repeat after me? Poi.
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 Poi is simply a ball at the end of a piece of twine that we the ladies twirl and beat on the palm and back of the hand, denoting the flight patterns and the sounds of our birds and smaller insects in flight. We start here with the tinako, the long stick. Now the stick is maneuvered up, down and around the body, strengthening flexibility and dexterity into the upper torso. Like the MC Gora or the short slip game. Now the sticks are passed from player to player in time with the music in the hope of not dropping a stick.
Nzika!